תאמר לך נפשי, קומר לך וצולי, בארץ ציון ויהיה בלי מועיל.
It all begins here, in this little overcrowded house in a simple neighborhood of Brooklyn called Crown Heights. Here, in this brownstone villa at the number 770, lays the heart and the soul of the Chabad Shluchim all around the world. In these walls, stones, lamps, chairs, benches, air. In this building, wrapped inside secrets, blessings, hopes, and whispers. Is the foundation of the strongest connection ever created between a Rebbe and his Hasidim, the Shluchim. If you know only Aleph, teach Aleph. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, the man who resuscitated world Jewry from the ashes after the Holocaust, and created an empire, and established an indestructible bond with his Hasidim, his soldiers, which transcends time and space. The Rebbe taught, cared, loved, prayed, provided, gave, unhumanly day and night to every single Jew. And to his Shluchim, the Rebbe, like a father, directed them, guided them, helped them, listened, and loved them more than anyone in the world. The Rebbe prepared them for their task before they left their home at 770 and embarked in their journey which would push them often far and away. They were ready for their task, to find and ignite the soul of every single Jew, no matter how far or how detached. The Shluchim are strong no matter what because the Rebbe is behind them always. Always. Even if now they cannot see the Rebbe no longer, the Rebbe lives in them, through them, in every gesture, in every smile, in every breath, until the coming of Moshiach.
I'm very nervous on this.
You have some inside information. I got to ask you some questions.
Cut.
No, I'm not nervous.
That's a very good question.
My name is Shalom Dov Ber Lipsker. I am a shliach of the Rebbe to this community, and I've been a shliach of the Rebbe together with my wife for the last 50 years.
My name is Chani Lipsker, and we have been living in Miami for the past 50 years. We came out here on shlichus 1 year after our marriage.
My brother-in-law introduced us, and this was a very attractive young lady. Had never been out before at a date. This is my first time. A young guy in yeshiva. So I thought to myself, before I get involved, because this woman, I said, she could really enchant me. So I had said, I have to ask you a number of questions.
I don't know if it was love at first sight. Our first date was quite complicated because he must have asked me 80 questions.
She says, this guy is crazy.
And I told my mother, Ma, this guy is not for me.
And it was on our second date, we decided that we're going to get married. We would dedicate our lives to be part of the Rebbe's mission.
I freeze. I lose it. We're at Yechidus with the Rebbe. And I was 19 years old. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be a good shlucha. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do your mission.
So the Rebbe, he looked at us, he smiled, he lifted up his hand, he says, Ich fordach mit euch. I'm going with you.
And then he added a caveat, but it has to be b'simcha. And that has been our life's mantra, that regardless of all the challenges that we have gone through, and there were many, we remembered what he said. The Rebbe said to us, I'm going with you.
So I always was thankful to her for asking the question.
Although it was difficult for us because my father was always working, my mother was always working, you know, that's life. I used to get picked up from school sometimes 5-6 hours after school was over.
When we first moved here from a thriving Jewish community in Miami Beach to Bal Harbour, where there was nothing, it was Zalman and I, and a 75-year-old man was my best friend.
I would come up here when I first started this community. Either somebody would pick me up with their car or would come up here by bus, by public transportation. It was not an easy process. It was a very difficult process. My house was foreclosed many times. The only reason that we kept it is because I knew the lawyer of the bank, because I had put on film with him many times.
A spiritual wasteland. There was nothing here. There were no kosher restaurants, there were no kosher food.
I remember that when they were doing the construction and the design for this shoul, that my father said, okay, we need a parking lot where we can have strollers. And they said, Rabbi, strollers? You mean wheelchairs? And he's like, no, I mean a place to park strollers. And I was like, okay, whatever, the rabbi and his dreams.
I didn't dream, I planned. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. I got to touch every single Jew in this area. Every single Jew. Every single Jew.
No Jew will be left behind. No tears will be left to be cried. Oh, no.
Well, we're working on the next phase right now. There's so much now. We're building a whole new extension to our building because we need it. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done with the community's participation, everybody working hard together, and the rabbis, the teachers, the shluchos, the community members, the board members, the children, all of us together. It's a harmony of a collective group of exciting people moving towards the future.
Like angels in the sky, in a garden full of glory, the galaxy so brilliantly related, ultimately high on the first page of our story, till the time parents...
From Yerushalayim, Eretz Israel. Living in Yerushalayim and coming here was a big jump into a sea, but because it's the shul, the way that we got embraced, and it was from the beginning, since the beginning, we felt this is a home away from home from Eretz Israel.
I run a bat mitzvah program. I help with ladies' events. We host a lot of Shabbat dinners. We're very active in outreach, visiting people, taking our kids, bringing things when people have babies, when new members show up. Just love meeting new people.
And we only find a loving kind humanity. We must teach...
Shlichus is my life. Shlichus is what I eat, breathe, do, morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, 24/7.
Comes Rosh Hashanah, he goes to the early minyan, and then goes to Publix, stands by the escalator and just blows shofar. You know, comes any free time that he has, he's busy calling people, texting people. He has a reminder on his phone for certain people to remind them to put on tefillin every day. So the buzzer's buzzing and my kids are like, you have an alarm, Ta? And it's like, oh, I need to text what's his name to remind him to put on tefillin. he has to stop what he's doing. Shluchus doesn't wait for you.
Pages rushing by, writing chapters full of sorrow. Webs of self-destruction we are weaving.
We are very blessed in the shoul to have had many survivors that are or have been a part of our community. Many people that have gone through the horrors of the Holocaust, that they chose this community to be a part of.
Something special that we have in our shoul is that we have no generation gap per se, and we have third generation families. We have the grandparents, and then we have the parents, and then we have the children, and now we even have the grandchildren.
But what's interesting is those friends that we grew up with, years later now, we're really very, very close. We remember our experiences when we were kids, not a lot in common, but today, because of the time factor and the investment, it became a really close friendship. We were there for them always. Marriages, weddings, funerals, brisim, birthday parties. And they knew that if they called us, we would stop what we're doing with our families and we would go be there with them.
In the last 2 months, we had like 7 bar mitzvahs straight. It was Vayetze, Vayishlach, Vayeshev, Miketz, Vayigash, Vayechi, and Shmot, and everyone from the same community, and everyone was different. So we had like Lubavitch and not Lubavitch and not even Fum, and everyone together came to the Torah. I mean, one Shabbat after another.
Immediately was in awe when I came to this community. I remember the first time I walked into the shul, the magnificence of the shul, and it's something that stays with you, and it's an incredible opportunity and place to be able to work with such an amazing community.
It's a beautiful place physically, but when we come here, there's so much that's offered that allows our soul to grow in such a beautiful, physically beautiful environment, whether it be a class or being here on Shabbos and davening, praying, socially. It's just a very positive place to be, which allows our soul to shine.
What are my fears in my shlichus? The biggest fear is that we're not doing enough. We have a community over here which is an outstanding community. It's exceptional. Sometimes we forget how exceptional it is, and then we get visitors that come here and they tell us how wonderful and unusual, unique our community is.
Community extracts its power, effective. The community is part of my family. It's my brothers and sisters.
Oh, I must close my eyes. By the time that they're open, it just might fade.
It's a commitment every single day, and it really reaffirmed my commitment to this way of life, to the way that I want to be able to give the Rebbe nachas and do the Rebbe's mission. And it's interesting because whenever I complain to my husband that this is or whatever the complaint is, he always says to me, it's something that always keeps me going. He says to me, Chana, you have to remember who we're doing this for.
That idea of knowing what your responsibility is, and the people watching this and say, big deal, machaya, you know, they let walk around, live an easy life, you get a paycheck and that's it. It's a very, very, definitely inspiring job. It's an amazing opportunity and honor and to be in shlichus, but it's extremely taxing emotionally and on the family. So unless you have the family buy into it and understand why we're doing what we do, it's hard for you to get the buy-in. When they understand that they're representing much more than themselves, which younger kids don't want to hear. But if you do it in a loving way and say, you're representing something more than you, then they embrace that and it becomes a charge for them.
There's a small piece of heaven in everyone's heart, a glorious gift.
But I feel like the shul really cares about our children. The children are our future, and the shul really invests itself into our children. And I think it's extremely important, especially today. Children live in a world where they have so many challenges that are way bigger than the challenges we had. I think that it's so important that they have a place they can call home, they feel proud to be a part of, they want to hang out in, and it's a place of Judaism. It's always impressive to me that the kids say, let's go hang out. Where are we going? To the shul.
The rabbi is willing to take on the chinuch of any public school child who is able to attend our program at no cost, which means that the rabbi has to go out and do the fundraising for it. And there's no limit. He's not saying stop when you're at 130 kids, stop when you're at 150 kids. He always wants to know, how many kids do you have? How many kids do we have more? How do we get more children? The commitment to chinuch and what the rabbi and Rebbetzin have done in this community is just beyond unbelievable.
It will sparkle and shine if we each do our part.
We must do our part.
To reach out and touch it with love.
The shoul is a beacon of light in a challenging environment. And with the continued growth of the shoul, and with continuing to see the children that are being raised in this environment, I see the shoul as continuing to be a center that brings light and goodness and hope and positiveness to all those that encounter it.
The Rebbe's final message was to do good and kindness in the world, and let's bring Mashiach.
Looking for something meaningful to do and help people and make the world a better place, specifically with young adults, teenagers, and children who are in the critical time of their life to shape the future.
With love, to reach out and touch it, only with love.
My mother went with my father to the Rebbe and they asked for a bracha for more children. They had me and they had Zalman. But the Rebbe said you will have sons and daughters. And they have one daughter and one son. So Zalman and I joke that we're like a package, like one son, one daughter, but we're like sons and daughters. But the reality is that my parents always said is that the community are their sons and daughters. And I was like, wait a minute, if they're your children, does that mean that they're my siblings? Like, I don't know if I'm up for that. And really now, honestly, I come to shul and every Shabbos, every event that we have together, we really are a family.
My father is a powerful figure and he is a giant to me. So being in his footsteps, I would call it, or I wouldn't say shadow because he never overshadows me in that sense. He gives me full autonomy and independence. But trying to be like him is difficult because he's so powerful, he's so devoted, he's so dynamic. He's completely committed to the cause and the mission and the ideology of shlichus, of Rebbe, of community, that it's hard as a son to even think about trying to imitate him or be like him.
You go to sleep feeling fulfilled. You go to sleep knowing that your day had a lot of purpose and meaning, and that it was not just an empty day, that it was filled with giving back, giving to others. Mod Ani in the morning and Shema Yisrael at night is our anchor.
So the Rebbe said once, he says, children are not only physical children, they're also spiritual children. So you'll have many children, many sons and many daughters. I tell the young generation today, you are living in the most potent moment of history. The Rebbe, who was never wrong, said it's on the threshold of our final redemption, of a world where there will be no wars, no empty competitiveness, no hatred, only peacefulness and knowledge. And it's a world that you, the young people, can make a real difference. Get it done, change the world, one of you at a time, because you can do it.
This
The Rebbe is my everything. The Rebbe is why I wake up in the morning.
A leader, a mentor, a tzaddik.
The Rebbe is my life, my guide, my spirituality, my kindness.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm gonna get emotional. Let me get a drink.
I like to shop.
I love to cook and entertain and dance.
I like to snowboard.
I enjoy football on Sundays.
I enjoy baking a lot.
So my hobby was photography, and it's turned into something more.
My hobby is putting on tefillin with people.
What's my hobby? Hold on. Going to the gym, that's just staying healthy.
I am a child, and the road ahead is paved with possibility, laughter.
Yerushalayim.
A melting pot.
Love, sun.
Yerushalayim shel chutz la'aretz.
The shoul.
My home.
I believe in me. I look into your.
I can't wait.
Tomorrow's a new day was the Rebbe's philosophy.
Tomorrow is a new day, it's a better day.
Yes, tomorrow is another day.
Every day is a new day, presenting great opportunities.
Let's make it great.
Tomorrow's a new day, but today is still today. So I think we have to still do more today before tomorrow becomes tomorrow. But tomorrow is tomorrow, which allows us to separate yesterday from today, which means allows us to grow.
Commitment, total commitment.
Selfless.
A role model.
They're magnetic.
Empowering.
Soldiers.
Embracing.
Incredible.
Dreamers.
He's in his kapata, it's 100 degrees outside, and he just is a soldier plugging forward. It's like there's no questions, there's no deviation. He's doing what he needs to do. And there isn't a moment where you could say, you know, I'm tired, I'm not going tonight. That's just not an option. You get dressed, you put on lipstick, and you go. In my mother's case, she doesn't have to put on the lipstick, she always has the lipstick on, and you just go.
Life is the people we love and what we give to
L'chatchila Riber, which is a motto that my father uses quite a bit, means we do everything over the top. There's no mediocrity.
It's who we are. It's so embedded within us. It's something that we're born with. It's part of our soul.
Over and beyond.
Don't go around it. Don't even try. Just do it.
Over the top. Over the top is the shul's motto.
I can be stronger, I can be braver, I can be anything.
I can be anything I want to be. I can be stronger, I can be better.
I have the courage.
I can be stronger, I can be braver, I can be anything.
I can be braver, I can be stronger, I can be anything.
I can be stronger, I can be anything.
I can be stronger, I can be braver, I can be anything.
I can be stronger, I can be wiser.
I can be stronger, maybe.
I can be braver, I can be stronger.
I can be stronger, I can be braver.
I can fulfill my potential to be what Hashem wants me to be.
I can be anything I want to be.
I am a fighter, I am a dreamer, I am a hero. Everything I am. 'Cause you believed in me.